The right pricing model doesn't just boost your revenue, it can skyrocket your profits and slash your sales cycle. But choosing the right one, that's where most consultants get stuck. I've built 7 businesses, grown some of them to 7 and 8 figures, and sold an 8-figure company. Along the way, I've tried and tested nearly every pricing model out there, and here's what I've learned. It all boils down to 7 pricing models that can transform your services business. In this video, I'll walk you through each model, their pros and cons, and a matrix I've created to help you decide when and how to use each model at every stage of your business. Stick around to the end and I'll share some creative pricing strategies that you can pair with these pricing models to expand your market share and dominate your niche. The first pricing model is hourly pricing. It's the most straightforward model out of the 7. You decide on an hourly rate for your services and then bill the clients according to how much you put in. The second pricing model is project-based. It's also a fairly common model. The service provider makes a detailed proposal with a scope, a set of deliverables, and what success means. A proposal should also include specific time and costs like specialized services or subcontracts. For example, an IT consultant has a fixed price for a project that includes a standard assessment, network setup, and training. The third pricing model is value-based pricing. Value-based pricing is about charging based on the value your services bring the client, not the time or effort you spend delivering the service. Consultants consider how their services benefit the client's business, like boosting revenue or saving costs, and set prices according to how much that benefit is valued by the client. Now, here's another golden tip. If you want no bluff insights to grow your services business, hit the subscribe button now. The fourth model is tiered pricing. In tiered pricing, your services are offered at different levels, each with different properties and price points. You can tier your pricing based on many properties, such as features, volume, usage, access, type of support, and turnaround time. Picture a software consulting business offering tiered pricing for its development and maintenance services. For example, they can provide 2 tiers, a standard tier and a premium tier. In the standard tier, clients get essential services like 8 to 5 online product support. Now, at the premium tier, clients get unlimited support with 24/7 priority, phone support, and discounted software development rates. With tiered pricing, clients pick the tier that suits their budgets and needs, making it a flexible choice for different requirements. It's important to understand that every business transaction is an exchange of value, more exactly, perceived value. So to maximize the price you can charge, you need to figure out how to increase your value perception, meaning the amount of value leads and clients think you offer them. Now back to pricing models. The fifth is retainer pricing, which is a common way to generate recurring revenue in service businesses. Retainer pricing is essentially subscription pricing. Clients pay a fixed fee repeatedly to maintain access to expertise and support. The sixth pricing model is productizing. Productizing involves packaging and presenting services in a way that resembles a product with clearly defined features, benefits, and fixed pricing. In a way, this model is a mix of tiered and project-based pricing. Now, keep in mind that we'll get to the pros and cons and when to use all of these models in the next section. For now, I'm covering each model so that you have a basic understanding of what's involved. So stick around as we go through these models. Here's an example. Say you have a legal services firm and you want to productize your services. The firm can create 3 packages. The first package or the first product would be called the Startup Essentials Package, targeting small businesses for $2,500. The second product or package would be called Contract Compliance Package, targeting medium-sized businesses for a monthly retainer of $1,500. And the third product or package would be called litigation defense package targeting the enterprise at a discounted hourly rate with a monthly retainer of $5,000. The last pricing model is performance-based pricing. In performance-based pricing, clients are charged based on the results of your service. This approach ties the price to specific value metrics, such as the number of leads generated or the amount of money or time saved. For example, a lead generation firm offers performance-based pricing for its outreach efforts. Instead of charging a fixed fee, the firm agrees to receive compensation based on specific achievements agreed upon with the client. They'll charge you $2,000 as a setup fee and then $250 per lead with a range of 3 to 5 leads per week. I think that's pretty reasonable. Next, I'll be covering the pros and cons of each model and then when to use them. The first model, hourly. It is ideal for short-term projects, also when the scope of work is unclear or has many unknown variables, or for ongoing long-term engagements where the month-to-month requirements may fluctuate. Now, for the cons, you'll likely take longer to deliver some projects when you're just starting. You don't want to build a client excessively for the hours you're spending figuring things out. Don't bill for that learning time. The second con is fixed margins. Say it costs you $70 an hour and you can charge $100 an hour. So you're netting $30 per hour. So at the end of the week or at the end of the month, the maximum amount of money you'll make is $30 times the number of hours that you've worked. Project-based pricing can be a little risky, especially for new founders, because new founders are not usually experienced enough to estimate the time and resources that a project needs. And the same thing applies for those who have been around for a while, but they haven't sold in a project-based setting yet. So this model requires clarity. The deliverables must be clearly communicated, and the roles and responsibilities of both the client and the service provider must be explicitly outlined. So my recommendation would be to deliver, say, 3 or 4 projects on an hourly basis before you start adopting project-based pricing as a model. Now, the pros of project-based pricing are it offers clarity and predictability for both parties. It also aligns incentives between the consultant and the client to complete the project efficiently. As for the cons, project-based pricing requires accurate estimates of the scope of the project and potential changes, and there is the risk of scope creep leading to additional work, which can mean increased costs. For value-based pricing, you'll likely need authority, either as a consultant or as a brand. Also, this pricing model requires a deep understanding of the client's business and the value proposition of your services, both of which are usually hard for a new business. So I wouldn't recommend using this model for new service providers, at least not in the early stages of the business. I recommend value-based pricing for high-value projects where you can show a significant impact on the client's bottom line. The pros of value-based pricing are it reflects the impact and the value of the consultant's expertise, and it can lead to higher margins and stronger client relationships. As for the cons, value-based pricing requires a deep understanding of the client's business and the value proposition of your services. Second, in some situations, qualifying value accurately can be very difficult, so it may get very complicated to measure success. Tiered pricing is suitable when you have a range of service offerings catering to a wide variety of client needs. If you're just starting and unsure about pricing, having 2 pricing points could help ease the pressure of selecting a price point that clients may consider too high or too low. A pro tip here: don't go overboard with the tiers. 2 or 3 tiers are more than sufficient, especially in your early stages. People will probably find anything more than 2 or 3 tiers very overwhelming. Pros: tiered pricing provides options for clients with different needs and budgets. It also can increase perceived value through tier differentiation. As for the cons, it requires careful segmentation and positioning of service tiers, and there's the risk of clients opting for lower price tiers without understanding the total value of higher tiers and feeling underserved. Retainer pricing works for any stage of a business. Let me walk you through some examples. A retainer model can help create a predictable cash flow in the early stages when cash flow is unpredictable. In a scaling stage, retainer contracts foster loyalty between you and clients, which reduces churn. Also, in a growing stage, a retainer-based clientele helps with resource planning, such as allocating staff and also resources efficiently. Finally, in a mature stage, retainer-based clients allow your business to specialize. When you become an established consulting firm, you can leverage retainers to offer specialized services or niche expertise to make your business stand out. The pros: the retainer pricing model brings predictability because it creates a steady income that can cover your fixed costs. It also fosters long-term relationships with clients, which can lead to more business. Now, the downsides of this model are it requires a high level of trust between the consultant and the client, which might be difficult to have if you're just starting. There's also the risk of underutilizing your resources if the client's needs fluctuate. Productizing can be used at various stages of a business. In the early stage, productizing can establish a clear value proposition and attract clients with standardized offerings. But as your business grows and you scale your operation, productizing services can help you maintain consistency, efficiency, and profitability while accommodating increasing demand. So it can be a very good source of revenue as you grow your business. Let's cover the pros of productizing. One, compared to custom services, productizing allows for easier scalability due to a streamlined operation. Two, standardized packages provide clarity because clients can easily understand what they're getting for what cost, which also means less confusion and shorter sales cycles. Now, there are some downsides to productizing. For one, clients may expect some level of customization or flexibility beyond what's offered in standardized packages, which often leads to dissatisfaction or looking for tailored solutions elsewhere. Secondly, commoditized services that compete solely on price eventually lead to price wars and margin erosion. Thirdly, managing and updating multiple service packages can become a complex operation. Performance pricing works best when you can commit to the outcomes of your work and agree on payment for those outcomes ahead of time. This model is best suited for established service businesses with a track record of delivering consistent results and a high level of expertise in their field. Since how well a project is doing can be hard to measure, it's best to only use this model if you have access to lawyers who can look over contracts beforehand to protect your rights. This model requires a clear understanding of the client's objectives, the ability to measure performance effectively, and a strong level of trust between the provider and the client. Pros: one, it creates alignment between you and your client's goals. Two, it works like an insurance policy. Risk is shared between the client and the provider. Good results lead to a win-win scenario, and bad results lead to a lose-lose scenario. As for the cons, performance-based pricing is complicated. Sometimes the amount that should be paid cannot be determined until after delivery, and often many months after that, which is not good for your cash flow. Two, potential for disputes. Disagreements may arise between you and the client on interpreting performance metrics or attributing outcomes, which in turn could lead to disputes over compensation. Three, need for cash flow. It's not good for providers who desperately need short-term cash flow. We've covered the various models, how to price. Now you can apply various strategies to price your services to achieve certain results, the why and when. For example, You can start with low pricing and then go high, and this is one way to penetrate a competitive market. You see some very aggressive low pricing out there, and then they're adjusted later. Another strategy, start high, then go low. This is called skimming to attract high-paying customers first. And a variation of this would be an exclusive pricing, which is a way to differentiate at the premium pricing level. And another strategy is where you offer promotional pricing, seasonal pricing, or even geographic pricing if you offer services in different markets. You can also use a bundle pricing strategy where several products are bundled together, and the bundle itself is not its own product, but the actual collection of the services that you offer. For example, you can offer training, you can offer support, or bundle a package for support and training. Phone companies and restaurants use this model very commonly. Other pricing strategies include psychological pricing, that $99 instead of $100, or maybe competitive-based pricing or cost-plus pricing strategies. Don't go overboard on these strategies. Test one or two at a time for what makes sense for your vertical and market. Now, before we conclude, drum roll, let's reveal the matrix, our pricing matrix for consulting and service businesses. Let me go over it. First of all these colorful bubbles, these are the 7 pricing models we've covered. If you look at the x-axis, this is the sales and marketing and operations capabilities that you have. Are you just starting, no processes, no systems, you're figuring things out, or maybe you're building, or maybe now you've built and you're scaling your business. So that's one thing for the x-axis. Now for the y-axis, it's competence in domain. So here you see novice, proficient, and expert. Are you totally new to this domain? Have you become more proficient, or are you a true expert? Those are the 9 different blocks you see in this matrix. Let me walk you through an example. You're just starting out and you don't have a whole lot of expertise in this field. So if you look at the bottom left of this matrix, we've listed hourly based and project based. Those are good models to adopt in this phase of the business. Now let's go all the way to the top right of the matrix. You see here we've listed all 7 models, but you'll notice this blue dot, blue is performance. So this performance-based model is well suited for companies who are very established. You have systems, you have processes, and then you have established expertise in that domain. So as you can see, some of these models work well across different levels. Some of them are specific to a phase of the business or maybe the level of proficiency you have in your domain. We've covered the details of these models, and we've covered how to use them and when to use them. So take a look at where you are today. Are you starting? Are you building? Are you scaling? Are you a novice? Are you proficient? Are you an expert? Find the area in this matrix that best fits your situation and then apply any of those pricing models and let me know how these work for you. Whatever pricing model you choose, whatever strategies you adopt, always work hard to provide real value to each client. Your pricing model may not determine your long-term success, but the benefit you provide your clients certainly will. To continue learning on improving your sales process and close more deals and make more money, check out my video on the ultimate guide to sales funnels right here.